is Joe Flying V Bonamassa. And we have a rare bird here. This is a 1967 sparkling burgundy Flying V. They came back out in almost a decade after the original runs. They started making them. Hendrix had one. Wishbone Ash made a 67 very famous. It's a real rock guitar. And they're slightly thicker sounding, in my experience, than the Carinas because they're mahogany. Most of the sparkling burgundy ones have an unfinished neck, so they're kind of brown. So it's not all sparkling burgundy. And a stinger. This one has a stinger. And the serial numbers are upside down, which is weird. They stamped them this way, not that way. So anyway, this is 932042. And it's a very, very cool guitar. They all came with tremolos. There's not a stop tail version of this. It's all this maestro tailpiece. Same configuration, volume tone. So anyway, it's and they all have like a little bit of a Fenderish quality. I think it's just, by nature of the V. The neck tenons are different than the Carina ones. It's really kind of apples to oranges, construction-wise. Skinnier neck. It's got that typical, little nut 67 neck shape, but they're very cool and they're very rare, especially the 67, 68s. They made a ton of them in the 70s, and this is not one of them. This is a 67, so I'm lucky to own it. I actually used it on Blues Deluxe Volume 2. I used it on the Albert song because Albert had a cherry 67 that allegedly he used on Born Under a Bad Sign. I mean, Albert could play a 2x4 with strings and it'd be fine. He was one of the greatest of all time and one of the most immaculate players. He didn't have an influence. I mean, there's nobody you can say, well, this sounded like Albert King before Albert King. Albert King was Albert King, and then everybody copied him. So it's a cool piece of kit to have in your collection. They become more expensive now than when I bought this. Everything has, but it's a cool guitar. Patent number, sticker, PAFs or whatever the humbucking pickups. They're humbuckers. Whether it says patent applied for or a patent number, they're humbuckers, ladies and gentlemen. These are chrome parts, not nickel. That's not going to make a difference in the sonic. They're humbucking pickups. So, don't get too attached. Don't hear with your eyes. Some people I know, they can see through the cover and down to the base plate of the pickup and go, oh, it says PAF on it. Oh, it's got to be better. Well, a good patent number will rule the world. A T-top will rule the world. Anything humbucking will rule the world. So don't get too fixated on the details. Just enjoy and play. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we are with a 1969. Here's a rare one. Blonde, or white. Well, it's blonde. This one's blonde because it's the ash body. Hendrix spec Woodstock 69 maple cap Stratocaster. And I call this the bronchitis caster because when I bought it, I should have postponed the gig. I had bronchitis so bad on the road. This was 2017. Literally one of the hardest tours of my life. I almost pulled the plug. It's just enough. But my tech at the time, Mike Hickey, sent me a photo of this in Des Moines, Iowa, and we were playing Des Moines, Iowa, and I was in Chicago. We were hubbing out of Chicago. And the thought of missing out of this guitar gave me the strength to do the gig. You can go 2 lifetimes and not see one of these. It's a 69 big headstock, maple cap, so there's no bullet truss rod. It's a 4-bolt neck, and it's mint condition. It's got still got the taggers, which is over there. And a lot of the narrative is like, oh, too bad, it's a CBS guitar. It's like, listen, good enough for Hendrix, good enough for me. And they're not all bad. There's some great 70s Strats. There's some bad ones. There's some heavy ones. But just like in any era, there's some bad Strats today. There was some bad Strats in the 50s. There's some bad guitars. Guys wanted a beer at 5 o'clock on a Friday. They just wanted to get these things out of the factory. They could care less. But this one's a good one. So it's light. It's maple. I like maple necks. I just the aesthetic and the sound always did it for me. But these have great front positions. And they still have the three-way position, so they get all the sound. And they're pretty strident in the back. And it hasn't been tuned in a while. But you can still wedge all the sounds. You can get the and you get the Clapton-y bits. Sorry. Get the Clapton-y bits. So there it is, the Bronchitis Caster, ladies and gentlemen, in all its glory. I will never sell this guitar. It's too damn rare and too damn cool because, like all of you, we all just watched Woodstock and waited for Hendrix to come on at the very end and was like, what planet was he on? Just the greatest of all time. I mean, just so devastatingly cool. And you could hear by my shitty playing, it's not the guitar, it was the man.